Welcome back to Fit 15 Total Body Confidence 4-week program. We are on week 4, day 3, meaning this is our final mobility workout. We've been working hard these last couple of weeks, and it's just important that we work on some of our flexibility, we recover. So today's gonna be our last day before our final 2 days of this program. Let me introduce you to my ladies in the back. I've got to my right, Sonia, she's ready to get it in. She's been working hard these last 4 weeks. And then I've got to my left, Liz, she's ready to get it in as well. I hope you're ready to get it in, so let's go right into it. So first we're gonna start on what I call the Superman kickback high knee. So we're gonna balance on one leg. So let's get on our left leg, let's balance, slightly bend that leg, and I want you to push back, all the way back, and then come back into a high knee. When I'm in my high knee, if you notice, my toes are pointed upward, and we're just gonna go right back, push back, back into the high knee. So when we're pushing back, you wanna make sure that your toe is pointed towards the ground, and then when you come back into the high knee, your toe is pointing towards the sky. So let's go look at my ladies. Let me help them out a little bit. So we're gonna go with Sonia here. So she's pushing back. I want you to hold this here for me, Sonia. I'm just gonna lift her leg just a little bit more to work on that flexibility. And let's go right back into that high knee. Toe pointed to the sky, back to it. Remember, the entire time your core is going to stay tight. So let's switch up that leg. Let's go to the opposite leg here. So a lot of us are right-handed, so this might be our more dominant leg. We might be able to find more balance. Remember, before you start the workout, let's find our balance. Tighten that core. Come right down, push out, come right back up. Let's go bother Liz a little bit and see how she's doing. All right, so Liz is coming up into that high knee. She's going back. I wanna make sure that your hips are still pointed downward. So you don't wanna turn your hips. Come right back up. Let's come right back down. Good work. All right, so we're gonna take this movement and we're gonna go into a one-legged hip twist. So almost very similar movement here. I'm just gonna flex my torso, tighten my core, my legs back, and then what you're gonna see here, my torso is gonna stay pointed towards the ground, pointed forward. I'm just going to turn those hips. So if you see here, I'm not turning my entire body, I'm just gonna turn the hips. So let's come find that balance, come back, leg up, toe pointed towards the ground, turn those hips. So let's go best with Sonia, see how she's doing here. So Sonia's coming out. The first thing I want to do, if you see here, Sonia's turning her hips before she actually has her leg up. So what I want you to do is get that leg up, now turn those hips. There we go, right back to it. Come back down, come right back up. So get that leg up first, then twist those hips. Feel free to switch legs, ladies. Go right back into it. So we're gonna come over here to Liz here. And same thing, she's having the movement where she's kind of turning her entire body. We wanna just focus on turning those hips. So we've got that leg up, so come back down for me. So just her legs straight out, just turn those hips. You see here, her chest is up, straight forward, down towards the ground. Good work. So now we're gonna go to one that's one of my favorite. If you are familiar with yoga, you probably see a bunch of yogis doing this. This is the one-legged stand pose. So we're gonna balance on that left leg. We're gonna put our right foot on our left knee, and we're just gonna sit down in it. Remember, my core is tight the entire time. Put your hands out for balance. If you see here, if I'm shaking a bit, come right back to it, find that balance, and then go right back into it. So we're gonna go over to Liz here, see how she's doing. She's finding that balance. So you see here, Liz is sitting in it. She's just trying to find that balance. What I'm gonna do is slowly push her hips backwards. So make her sit just more into that pose there. There we go, feel free to come back up. Let's switch our legs here. So we're gonna go into switching our legs. And we're just here, just sit right back into it. Remember, you're gonna push those hips back. So I'm here, I'm sitting down, I'm resting. My core is tight the entire time. I'm gonna mess with Sonia a bit, make sure she's pushing her hips back. So Sonia's sitting in this here. You see her chest is up. She's finding balance. She's in her Zen pose. Her core is tight. And I'm just gonna pull back on those hips a bit just to get her into a deeper sit. So come here. And here I'm just gonna pull back just so she's in a deeper sitting position. Great work. So the next thing we have is what we call the Cossack squat. So we're gonna come out to our left. We're gonna extend that right knee, and we're just gonna come down almost into a lunge. You're gonna turn that opposite leg where your heel is down in the ground, toes to the air, and just stretch. You're gonna feel this stretch in your hamstring, in your groin area, and you're just stretching here. If you want a deeper stretch, feel free to reach with your arm to your ankle or even to your toes for a deeper stretch. Let's rotate to the opposite side. Same thing, remember, as you're in this lunge, you need to turn your foot, toe to the air, and just sit in there and get a good stretch. So I'm gonna go back here, gonna mess with Liz a little bit, see how she's doing back here. She's smiling because she doesn't want me coming back here and bothering her, but we're gonna make sure she's getting a deep stretch, working on this flexibility. So if you see here, if I'm touching, it's tight here. I can feel the pull in her hamstring. She's just sitting in it. So now I just want you to rock your hips and rotate to the other side, all the way through. We're gonna turn, make sure her toes are pointed straight to the air. She's reaching, sitting right into it. Good work. Let's check out Sonia, see how she's doing. Same thing, she's deep in there, getting a full stretch, pushing those toes to the air. There we go, great work, ladies. So now we're gonna go with what I call a groiner with a knee adduction, meaning we're pushing outwards. So we're gonna come down into a lunge. So I'm gonna have my right knee on the ground. You're gonna feel a slight stretch here in your groin area. And then what I want you to do is just slowly push your knee outward and come right into it. Push it out. So you're just gonna feel this stretch in your groin area. Unlike some of the static stretches that we've done, this is more of a dynamic stretch. So we're just gonna continuously move here. So I want you to get about 10 in, and then we'll switch. Remember, your core stays tight the entire time, sitting straight up, chest up, shoulders back, and I'm just pushing out. If you want an even deeper stretch in that opposite leg, feel free to lean forward a bit so you feel that lunge and push out. There we go. So let's go and we're gonna switch legs. I'm gonna check on Sonia, see how she's doing back here. So you see Sonia, she's more extended just a bit and she's pushing out. She doesn't need any assistance with her hand. She's just literally pushing out. If you see, she's rotating to the side of her foot just to get more of an opening. Working that groin area. We've done a lot of squats this week. We have so many more to come, more lunges. So just important that we recover and that we go through these movements, we take it seriously, just so we don't have any injuries moving forward, and we can give 100% to ending this total body confidence program. All right, ladies, so now what we're gonna go into is what I call my lateral bend. So we're gonna go right back down here, and we're just gonna bend here on one knee, leg out, and I just want you to get a full reach. So if you aren't as flexible, you can reach with that opposite arm, but if you are flexible, you can come up straight in the air and reach over. So you're gonna feel this in your hamstrings, you're gonna feel this in your groin, you're gonna also feel this in your calf. And make sure you're pointed straight to the sky here. Let's switch it up. So fully all the way out, sit down some. Remember, my core is tight the entire time, and I just stretch here. There we go. So while we're here, we're gonna stay in this position, and we're gonna do our adductor rock backs. So you're staying in this position here, torso straight ahead, and now I just want you to come and sit. Come right back up, come right back down and sit. Push those hips back, get as low as possible. Now, if you feel too much of a pull in your groin and your hamstring, don't keep going. Just go as far as you can. Feel that stretch. Come right back up. So I'm gonna go mess with Liz a little bit, see how she's doing back here. So if you look here, she's coming almost all the way down. So she's making sure she's coming down. This foot's not moving. Her toes still pointed to the sky, and she's just rocking her hips up and down, getting that full stretch. There we go, a couple more. And you see she's fully extending, thrusting her hips forward as she comes up, tightening those glutes as well. And you can't hear her, but I can. She's breathing the entire time. It's imperative that we don't hold our breath and that we breathe the entire time. The more we breathe, the deeper we'll be able to get into these stretches. So I'm gonna come down, get a couple more in here. And I'm just gonna come and sit. If you're more flexible and you can actually sit in this, sit in it for a couple of seconds. All right, So the next thing we're gonna do here, we're gonna do a seated leg lift. So I just want my ladies to sit down on the ground. We're gonna start with our left leg. So you want both legs fully extended, and we're just going to lift our leg, rotate it out laterally, touch the ground, come back. So we're just coming out. Remember, keeping that core tight, chest is up, my shoulders are back, and I'm just touching and going. Very similar to the warm-ups we do during our workouts, where we just start to pick up the pace to get more of a dynamic warm-up. Same thing here, building that mobility. We're warming up, touch and go. There we go. Feel free to switch legs. We're gonna come to Sonia here. So you see here, toes straight up. She's coming all the way across. Just remember, think of something right in the middle that you don't wanna touch. So you wanna get that leg high enough, touch and go, come out laterally wide enough, just so you can feel that pull in that groin. There we go, couple more ladies. Remember, we're breathing the entire time. We wanna keep breathing. This workout, we're not here to count calories, how many calories we burn. We're just here to get a good stretch in. We're here to recover, just so we can go right back at it tomorrow. All right, now we're gonna go into what I call the pigeon stretch. So we're gonna take our left leg, drop it down to the ground, slightly bent. We're gonna have our right leg pointed straight back. So you're gonna have to rotate your hips, and I just want you to stretch, fully stretch. If you're more flexible, you can put both hands in front and lean forward. So you can try to get that elbow down to the ground for this stretch. And then the next thing I want you to do is just rock backwards and forwards. So that left glute should touch the ground and then come right back off that ground. So just getting that warm up in, feel that stretch. Now let's switch it up. I'm gonna come back here and make sure Liz has a straight leg back here, working on this flexibility here. So if you see here, she's all the way down. I'm actually gonna pull her front leg out a little bit more so she can get a better stretch. This back leg is straight. Let's bring this on our toes there, and she's stretching. So now what I want her to do is this right glute, she's gonna touch the ground, come right back up. Open up those hips, open up that groin. Just get a really good stretch here. All right, great work. So the next thing we're gonna do is some hip rotation. So I want you to sit down in a butterfly position. Just like our cool down, the butterfly hold is always one of my favorites. So we're gonna be in this position. What I want you to do is take your right leg, we're gonna kick that leg out, bring it all the way around and right behind us. Bring it right back up to the front, back into our butterfly position. Switch it up. So fully extend that leg, bring it all the way around, behind you, sit straight up, come right back to it. Back into the butterfly position. Couple more times here, straight out, all the way back, and bring it right back around. There we go. We're taking our time here, getting that full rotation, opening up those groins, feeling that stretch in those quads, feeling that stretch in those glutes. Bring it back around. One more, give me one more. Take your time on this. All right. So I hope you're feeling a little bit more limber. If you were sore, this is gonna help with that soreness. So now we're gonna go back to working that core per usual. We've gotta get some abs in. Summer's coming. I need a six pack. I know they want a six pack. So let's go into our bear planks. So we're gonna go right into a plank. Instead of fully extending your legs like we would in a regular plank, we're gonna slightly bend those knees and just hold it. Remember, this entire time we want our back flat, our hips down. Let's check on Liz, see how she's doing here. So if you see here, her back is flat, her hips are in, her core is tight. Good work. Let's check on Sonia, same here. Back is flat, hips are in. I'm gonna put a little bit more pressure by having her drop her hips even more. tightening those, that core there. So you're gonna feel this. She's even gonna feel this in her shoulders because some of that weight is on her shoulders as well. Let me come back in here. I'm putting them through the torture. I should go through it as well. Remember, core is tight. All right. So back on the ground, we're gonna be back on our butts. So what we're gonna do here is, I like to call heels to the sky into a butterfly sit-up. So I'm gonna come back, heels to the sky, into a butterfly sit-up. So it's 2 motions. We're gonna raise our hips off the ground, feet to the sky, come back into a butterfly sit-up. Here we go. We're just touch and go here. Remember, your core is tight the entire time. If you don't have a tight core, you can always put your hands underneath your butt. And if you have a tight core, you work your abs every day, feel free to put your hands behind your head. Remember, we're gonna touch our toes on that butterfly sit-up, ensuring that we're coming all the way up for the sit-up. Couple more. We've been working our abs for 4 weeks now. All right. Now we're sitting back down. We're just gonna do a sitting knee to elbow. Final workout of the day, working on that mobility, building that six-pack right now, building that total body confidence. So let's get it in. 1 more minute. Feel free to do 5 to 10 and then alternate. Remember, I want you to drive that knee to your chest, making sure that elbow is connecting with the knee. And maybe after 4 weeks, your abs still aren't as tight as you want them to be. You're still trying to build that core strength. If need be, you can put the opposite hand under your knee to help bring that knee up to the elbow, and then you're gonna crunch. Make sure our toes are pointed up. All right, good work, and there you have it. You've gotten through the final day of mobility. We've been preparing for this, so now you should feel limber. You should feel really good to come back tomorrow. Give it 110%. Build that total body confidence right here, right now. See you later. Great work.